We had gone by this church many times every year when I went to my sister's, but we had never stopped. But seeing the church, it always intrigued me. So this time we finally decided to stop and explore, and found that the whole town was abandoned. There's something cool and creepy at the same time about abandoned houses. You always wonder what the story is behind the emptiness in these houses. Did the owners die? Was the whole town condemned? Was it left just to crumble because opportunity knocked elsewhere? Is the place haunted? Whatever the cause, these old abandoned houses provided me with a great opportunity to videotape and then do research on what happened to the town of Insinger, Saskatchewan. And this is what I found on the internet. Insinger, Saskatchewan, a classic ghost town. Insinger is located on Highway 16, northwest of Yorkton, Saskatchewan, Canada. It was once a busy little village, but the church now stands locked up and watches over the deserted streets and the falling down houses. The little community, which grew to a peak population of 100 citizens, once had 4 thriving general stores, a blacksmith shop, a garage, a hotel, and a restaurant. The CP rail was laid in 1903. A post office was established in 1908. The village was formed in 1921. But over the years, people left for one reason or another. And by 1979, the population had dwindled to 25 people. In 1999, Insinger's 2 elevators were demolished. The only business remaining was the rural municipal office and the post office. That's the white building with the red roof. The population had shrunk again to less than 20 people. Through the years of decline, the citizens remained proud, and the community celebrated their 75th anniversary of the municipality in 1988. A school reunion was hosted in 1998, and there was also a homecoming in the year 2000. Through the years of hardship and trials, the village struggled on. When the first settlers came to the east central region of Saskatchewan, they would later call the town Insinger in the late 19th century. The living was very hard. Settlers lived in what is called a dugout. It's a hole dug into the ground and then covered with branches of sod, grass, and any other type of material that was immediately available. They had brought with them from the old country some of their tools, which was knives, wooden spoons, hammers, axes, chisels, scythes, and flails. They used a hearth for baking, and candles was used for lights. The women used to grind their flour with grindstones. All the furniture, of course, was handmade. Bed mattresses were stuffed with grass or straw, and they used benches for chairs. The first settlers arrived in 1891, led by a rancher named Frederick Robert Insinger. It was after him that the municipality and village would later be named. In 1897, a group of Ukrainians known as the Central European immigrants first came to the area from Winnipeg and then Yorkton. From Yorkton, they either walked along the old Lowry Trail or traveled by horse or oxen. Homesteads had been purchased for $10 a quarter section. The settlers soon found that the land was very fertile for growing wheat. The first school in the area was Lowry School number 494. It was built in 1898. Later, another school was built in the village in 1921. It was closed in 1967. Citizens built their first church in 1905, and it was called the St. Mary's Church of the Ukrainian Greek Orthodox. It was made out of logs and mud. Hardship for the early settlers remained for many years. The men often had to leave their families and seek employment elsewhere, like nearby cities, or even coming into Manitoba. The nearest market was Yorkton, and that was 68 kilometers southeast of Insinger. It wasn't uncommon to see settlers carrying their provisions all the way back to Insinger. The first general store at Insinger was opened in 1903 by a man called Metro Sherrick. At about the same time, the new community had their first post office, and a year later, the railroad arrived in Insinger. The rural municipality of Insinger was first incorporated in 1913. The first elected reeve was Fred Mason of Theodore. The village of Insinger later had its own local government with a mayor and 2 town councillors. The first meeting of the village of Insinger was held on June 6th, 1921.